Our next speaker who would be presenting his project is Gustav Arentoft. Gustav, are you here?
Yes, I am here.
Okay. I am going to give you a co-host right now. Just give me a half minute. And yeah, you are now co-host. So you should be able to share your screen and put on a presentation. So
perfect.
Gustav,
Yeah. So I'm just a little bit of background. I've been working in the DeFi and DAO space for the last 6 years. I spent 3.5 years at the Maker Foundation and a year at the DAO afterwards, after the foundation dissolved, and we moved into being a complete DAO. Apart from that, I've also been a core contributor to 1inch, and now I lead StableNode and StableLab. And at StableLab, we are the leading professional delegate. So today I'm going to talk a little bit about how like a professional delegate work and what this actually means. So if we look at like the delegation space in general, like we have a lot of these big protocols, and I think by now we have kind of like diminished the correlation between token holders and people who actually want to do governance. So our role really is to come in as like an external party, completely separate from the founding team, and become a community member alongside a lot of other community members, of course. But I think like what really differentiates professional delegates is that we have more resources and we have the ability to take on more work than individuals. Typically, individuals who works as contributors to DAOs, they have their own day jobs, they have their own focuses, and time is the most valuable resource we have. So these are like some of the things that we work on with protocols. We do a lot of research. We have an internal research team. It's very important for us that we combine both the theoretical concepts and stay up to date with what is happening on that front, together with the hands-on experience that we have both from our years in the space, but also from all the work that we're doing along a lot of different protocols. I have a slide as well afterwards where I'm going a little bit like where we work, but these are like the main topics we work on. So we do research, we write and initiate proposal processes. We of course vote. We participate in what we call like pre-token voting governance, which is the entire process of going from ideation and discussions into the vote itself. We also have a pretty extensive network in the Web3 space, so we also kind of try to leverage those connections, and then we have done a lot of DAO to DAO collaborations as well. And then in the case of crisis, we also help with crisis management. The protocols we work with right now is mainly what you see here. We work with Maker, Optimism, Aave, Compound, Element, Jet Protocol, 1inch Balancer, Solace, Euler, Hashport, Hop, Safe, Ronin, Snack Club, and Paladin. So it's like a pretty extensive list, and we have like a full team who's committed to doing the work here. When we participate in these different protocols, we act in a variety of different positions. Some of them we are just delegates, some of them we are part of different committees or councils, really trying to take in as much responsibility as possible when we come in. And I think like one of the like main things we also really like to do is governance optimization. So we do a lot of work around basically like the governance framework and methodology itself. So how do you actually create the most optimal environment for certain decisions to be taken? What are the processes from an operational standpoint to be having these decisions taken? And how do we increase the responsibility that the community is able to take over? So we really see governance in general, DAO governance in general is it's not a technical problem you're solving, it's really an operational problem. So this is kind of like the ethos that we are coming with when we work with the different protocols. So like right now we have first and second slots in quite a few of the bigger protocols. We in general, once we like the longer we work with a team, of course, you need to build up some kind of political capital, I would say. We really see being a delegate and governance in general, DAO governance in general, as more of like a political system. I know that some people they make comparisons with how the shares, like how shareholders work in a traditional company, but we really see it more as like a political system, where you have delegates acting as protocol politicians. You have different like committees and councils being created that has certain expertises to help out with. We are like quite active. We have actually done, like, this is a little bit outdated, we've done over 700 votes now. We have written over 1,000 posts in different forums, and we have a team of 11 people working full time only on governance related topics. This was like a little bit just like a very short presentation, so I'll just like stop sharing my screen now and then just continue talking for a bit. I think like, and this is I think like also like pretty relevant to like other people here on the call. We have really seen in like the last like years since the market started tumbling, we've seen a very big increase in like the focus on governance in general. So like right now it's definitely like a very good opportunity to be able to come in and contribute on the governance side. We've seen a big increase also in compensation opportunities for being a contributor around governance. So the things that we really want to be working on, together with the protocols, is really enhancing the decentralization of the space, right? I think like a lot of us are here because of the belief in the permissionless nature of Web3. But the reality is just that we are like pretty far away from that to achieve that, right? And like one of the main problems that we see like DAO struggling with now is community participation. So I think like voter apathy has of course always been a problem, but also just having a variety of different contributors coming in and relaying useful information and having like a ping pong inside the community is something that is quite needed now. I must also admit I was not entirely sure what like the session tonight was going to be, so I also made it like pretty short, that I kind of like maybe expected it would also be like a little bit of conversation. So I don't know how much time I used, but probably not nearly enough of what I had. So I'll also just like open up the floor if anyone has any questions to like how we operate as delegates, or any questions around like governance in general. We'll just say like here we work mostly with protocols where there's like a strong financial primitive in them. So basically protocols where there is what can you say, like both a big potential positive outcome of decisions, but also a potential disastrous outcome. It's always easier to design systems if you have like clear consequences and benefits of those decisions. So this is like really what we specialize in and what we mostly work on. That's why we mostly work with DeFi protocols and some NFT projects where this is also the case.
Gustav, I had a question for you.
Yeah. Hey, Mahesh. Good to see you.
Good to see you. So in one of the slides you said you guys also help with crisis management in the DAOs. I'm just curious, like, do you have any, without naming names, can you like say like what are the type of crisis the DAOs have? Like, how do you help them?
Yeah, so for example, we had a case recently where one of the protocols we're working very closely with, they basically had like a minor like bug in them, right? And they had to provide like a hotfix, right? And the problem was their governance was not optimized to actually be able to push this through because they did not have like an express route. So we kind of like helped them with trying to be able to like not circumvent the normal process, but creating like communication and language around that this was something that needs to be done, but at the same time it was not disastrous. We've also had like other cases where there is for example like short deadlines. So Another one, for example, is like less of like a crisis, but a little bit in like the same order of, you know, like the claiming the safe tokens, right? There was a lot of DAOs that were kind of like stuck in like, you know, wanting to like claim them, but their process was like too long. So we help protocols with this kind of like expedited processes, right? And like we've had like 2 incidents where it was security related, where, you know, it's important that you're like very careful with your language and like how you're like approaching the situation, because of course you don't want to create like, you know, unforeseen panic, especially because, you know, communication in a situation like this can, you know, create consequences outside of, you know, just getting the bug fixed, such as, you know, like people withdrawing like money from the protocol, or even, you know, like the token price crashing. So there we have some experience. You know, we lived through quite a few intense moments, especially at Maker, Black Thursday. I don't know if all of you remember that, but, you know, when we basically had like a lot of these things happening in DeFi. So we've been through like this before, and have had like, you know, to step in with, you know, partners in communication on like forums, and, you know, helping, you know, basically like with like the right way to like approach these things. So it's something that like often happens, you know, in kind of like a smaller circle within the DAOs, and then you need to move fast, but also be like quite careful in particular with, you know, how you're approaching the situation, so you don't create like, you know, unwanted and like too big consequences of it, basically.
Yeah, I can totally imagine now all the things that happen could happen in the DAOs. Yeah, thanks for clarifying that.
Yeah.
Okay, I think we will share a video, and we'll send to you your presentation to everybody, to all of our community. And if there would be any questions, I would encourage them to ask this question to you on LinkedIn or Twitter or whatever,
Sounds good.
or email. So thank you, Gustav, for your presentation.